Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. We are back. I am Judah Bernard with the Rise Creating Your Voice podcast. What? We are ready. We are ready. So tag a friend, subscribe, like, share. We have ALANAJakese coming in. Let them know what we're talking about is personal values. Personal values. Tag a friend, tag a friend. Tell everybody we're here and we'll get ready to get started. Because we're talking about personal values. I'm going to go ahead and tag her in right quick, and she requests to be approving. How are we doing? How are we doing? We have ALANAJakese in, and we are talking about personal values. How you doing? Make the world a better place for you and for me.
Yes. I love it.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I am well. So, Alana, I want you to go ahead and back our people up on what we've already talked about and things, because season 4 is about what is love. So, if you don't mind, we've already had a couple of episodes. If you want to bring them up to speed, go ahead.
Absolutely, yeah. So far, we've been talking about a lot. We've been talking about self-love. We've talked about situational love, behavioral love. We've been talking about all aspects of love, getting over past trauma, family trauma. So I think we've tapped into a lot so far.
Yes, we have. We've tapped into several things, and the big thing is we came up to the premise of God is love. So the first and foremost thing, putting God in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Putting God in your life.
Absolutely.
Putting God in your life. Putting God in your life.
Yes.
And what does that mean?
When you have God in your life, first of all, you know the foundations of love. When God talked about love being forgiving, unconditional, everlasting, loving without, loving without ulterior motives, and just loving just love. Those are the foundations of love, even if you're loving yourself in that manner. So I agree, Judah, understanding God's love is first. That's number one. Foremost.
Yes. But now we want to get to the topic at hand, which is personal values.
Yes.
So I actually had this, and I don't know if you guys can read it, but it's value cards.
Well,
yes, value cards.
Judah.
So how you play these is you have these, and it's called personal value cards.
Okay.
And you get a bunch of values that's on here, like loyalty, intelligence, innovation, independence, hope, honesty, integrity. So I actually got these in one of my leadership courses.
Love it.
And the thing was, it was 6 people around the table with just one deck of cards. And each person had to try to pull at least, I want to say 10 cards or 6 cards.
Okay.
You just pulled them from the deck without knowing what type of value it was. If you could not associate with the value, you throw it back in the pot.
Okay.
Until you came up with, I want to say 6 or 7 actual values.
Built off of that value?
Built off of no values.
Okay.
So once you turn the cards over, then you saw your values. Mm-hmm. Then you can put it back in. You do about 3 or 4 rounds of that. Then after that, after you choose 7 of your values, you had to give 4 of them away.
Oh.
So you was only stuck with 3 of your values.
That's tough, Judah. Depending on what those values are.
Exactly. That's tough. But in turn of it, the whole premise of the game was your values change.
They do. They do. And I definitely think they change as you evolve as a person. Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
So that's what I want to open up with about is personal values. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you're going to have those same personal values that you had when you were 18 years old?
No, because my wants and needs and desires are absolutely different now at this age than it was at 18. At 18, I just wanted to be on my own. I wanted to be independent. I wanted to be grown. I wanted to feel secure. Now at this point, financial stability is very important. Now, not only do I want to be on my own, I want to be a homeowner. Now, not only do I want to be sustained as a woman, I want to evolve as a woman every day. I want to grow. I want to build a evolutionary circle of women around me in the form of support. So I feel like, my values are not the same.
But some people hold on to some personal values.
I think there are certain values that you should hold on to. Whether it's believing in yourself, whether it's the self-love, whether it's, seeing the value in how educated you are. You always want to continue to form education or continue to grow your education, or even just how you care for yourself. That is a form of a value. I value my personal time. I value my mental time. So I think that should always be constantly going, no matter what age you are.
Yeah. So when you look at personal value, and I think most people do not understand what personal values are. If there was a definition that you could describe or pronounce as being personal values, what would that definition look like for you?
For me, my personal values is my DNA.
Mm-hmm.
It's who I am. It's who I'm made of at this point, who I'm making myself become every day. It's my identity, And if I value myself as a beautiful woman, I'm not going to let you treat me like I'm not a beautiful woman. If I value myself as a God-fearing woman, you're not going to make me waver in my Christianity or in my beliefs.
Right.
So I feel like my values are the core of who I am. They make me who I am. It's my DNA.
And in that DNA, because I think people have to understand, number one is personal.
Yeah.
And most people try to take their values from what they've learned. So how is it personal if it's a value that it's a behavioral learned value?
Well, I think that's where that whole self journey that we were talking about, setting up that whole, system as far as spending time with yourself, learning yourself, putting yourself first, all of that is going to become evident to you through those actions, I mean, my first point as far as values tonight, Judah, was to remember that you are always bringing value, no matter where you are, no matter who you're with. You are always bringing value. Value is confidence. Value is personal. So if I feel like I am valuable, then I know that my values stand. I know that you will respect my values. And if you don't, then that's where I need to put up boundaries.
Okay, great. So how do you feel about personal values versus just values?
It's a good question. I'm going to pick that back to you.
Yes.
What
so
do you
here's
think,
my
Judah?
question. My personal values could be spirituality.
Okay.
Hope. Integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Honesty. Those are my
loyalty.
personal values.
Mm-hmm.
But my values could be still in the personal realm, but my values from a perspective of societal and in the environment in which I live could still be, I want people around me honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Integrity is in all aspects of your life. Integrity at work, friendship, family. Yeah.
But then again, some values is I'm not going to deal with the common BS that they throw out.
So then is that a value or is that a boundary?
It's a boundary, but it's a value too, because my basic thing is I'm not going to devalue you, but I'm just not going to hear what you're saying. So it's a value for me to silence myself so it just won't go beyond the broken veil.
So, and then I think that's when your values actually become a privilege.
Oh, yeah.
Because I value that I'm not going to devalue you and let you bring me down. It's a privilege for me to walk away from this and to choose me.
Yes.
Put me first.
Yes.
But I feel like you can only do those things when you understand who you are as a person. You understand what you bring to the table, which goes back to what I said, understanding that no matter what the circumstances are, you bring value to everything. I'm valuable to my friendships because I'm dependable, I'm loyal, I am supportive, I am a confidant for my friends. I'm valued to my relationships because same thing. I'm loyal, I'm loving, I'm unconditional, I'm unwavering. So understanding as an employee, I'm valuable because I'm hardworking, I'm dependable, I'm reliable. All of those things. When you understand that you bring value to almost every aspect of your life, then yes, that builds who you are as a person, which is why I said my values are my DNA.
So we definitely want to think about some values and give it out to the people. When you think about intelligence as a value, and I notice look backwards, intelligence. What does people, because I know we have people watching things as well, but then again, when we look at intelligence, I like to look at it as a personal value and a value outside. I like to have people that are intelligent. Sometimes people sound like they just want to talk.
Yeah.
And don't talk with this.
Yeah. They just want to be in a room. Yeah.
I don't like those type of people.
Those people are not valuable, right?
They're not valuable.
Smoke up your tail.
They're not valuable.
Yeah.
This is a big one for me, and that's health.
Yeah.
Health is important, whether it's mental, spiritual, or physical.
Definitely. So that goes back to what I was saying, valuing your personal time. Sometimes you have to unplug. Sometimes you need to tell someone like, hey, I understand you're important in my life. I value your opinion, but I think I need more of a professional opinion, a more spiritual opinion. Doesn't mean I don't value you in my life. It just means right now the advice or the support that I need is outside of what you can do. So yeah, I think.
But I think some people will take into heart about that.
Then
that's when you question your friendship.
So then are you valuing their emotions and their feelings over your own?
Yes. No, I don't.
You don't.
You don't.
It's okay.
But
sometimes you have to tell someone that.
But when they've had that, what's the word I want to use? When they feel like they're giving good advice, that's the word I want to say.
Yeah.
But you're not accepting to that advice. That's why I don't accept a lot of advice.
No. And you got to be careful who you get advice from as well. Too. Because some people want to devalue you by giving you advice, right? Like some people want to tell you, oh, I don't think that's good for you. You can't do that. Or that's not for you. No, that's not valuable advice.
Right.
And I value my own confidence. I value my own abilities more than the advice that you're giving me. And you're trying to devalue me through this advice. Yeah.
And one thing is we got to think about is this one.
Oh,
equality across the board.
Especially when it comes to your careers. Yeah. How many times are we always constantly trying to prove that we are a valuable associate?
Yes.
How many times? And through that, oh, Judah, here we go. Through that, because I'm always trying to prove that I'm a valuable associate, I am always betraying myself and not valuing myself because I value your opinion of me enough to believe that if you see me as valuable, I have a job, rather than understanding that God got me this job. God does the promoting. God sustains my employment. Right. But I'm valuing your opinion more than I'm valuing myself and my higher power.
And I think people got to understand too, as well, autonomy.
Now, how does that work for you as far as values?
Autonomy goes threefold. Is we should have something similar, where it's an alignment. When I think about autonomy, I look at the alignment of where we are. Mm-hmm. And sometimes things are off balance when the autonomy is not there.
Yeah.
I like autonomy across the board.
Okay.
And people, you know, it's sort of like if someone is always negative, why are you with them?
Because you don't know how valuable you are, that you sit in the midst of
and
all
that's
that.
why autonomy is great. So people with positive spirits, iron sharpens iron.
Judah, you got to value yourself so much that you put yourself first.
Always.
And you are constantly working at, we got to start getting to the point to where we work at a relationship with ourselves more every day than we do with other people or when we're in a relationship.
I do that all the time. I'm in a relationship by my whole self.
Yes. You have to be in a relationship with yourself.
Yes.
That's what you're learning more about yourself. That's where those key things are coming into. Simplicity.
How about simplicity for you? Do you feel that's a good
I'm going to say simplicity to me equates to organic.
Okay.
Like when our chemistry is organic, when we see things the same way, when we have the same core, the same beliefs, I'm going to say it's so, because then it's so simple for you to see me for me and I see you for you because this is organic. Yeah.
And there's nothing else beyond that.
And I don't have to give you this facade because you see me for me.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's one for me there, Judy.
But that's the thing is some people are just don't have that creativity.
Or when you don't understand how valuable you are when it comes to creativity, that's where my favorite thing to talk about, the imposter syndrome, comes in.
You don't want real bad now.
You don't know how valuable you are, so you're always following what someone else did.
Right.
You know, your friends tell you that they did this, they made a lot of money, they got a lot of followers, they started a business, and now here you go doing the same thing. And you didn't even have to go that route because you were so much more smart and you were so much more creative. You had so much more to give than this get rich quick scheme. When you understand how valuable you are and what you bring to the table, you can build a business the simple way and it still builds. That imposter syndrome is it.
Growth is important. I tell people if you're not planted, if your roots are not planted, how are you growing? If you're not pruning yourself, how are you growing? If you're not watering your seeds, how are you growing? When I see people become stagnant, I got to let them go.
You got to let them go. And when it comes to growth and values means that you understand that your past, your past does not devalue you. And it more so almost gains your worth. You know what I mean? The things that you've been through have educated you, have made you smarter. So now you're more valuable. Now you can do something like teach another young girl, another young boy, a different way of doing something because I went through these things. So my trials and my triumphs and, my trauma is valuable to me because it allows me to be who I need to be for someone else too. Productivity. Yeah.
That goes hand
I struggle with that one.
Why?
Procrastination.
But still there's a problem
laziness
afterwards, right?
It is, but again, if I knew how valuable I was in my creativity, sometimes I wouldn't procrastinate so much and I wouldn't suffer from, and I wouldn't be lazy. If more so, I would realize that because I can do this, I have the ability to do it. If I just put forth just a little bit more, time, a little bit more attention, a little bit more dedication, it is achievable for me as well as the next woman that I'm watching on social media every day.
Right.
Challenge.
Who doesn't like a good challenge?
Yeah.
Challenge my brain.
Or your challenges. Yeah, your challenges. Yeah. I think your greatest ability. Someone said something like your greatest. Actually, I think I had wrote it down. Hold on. Your greatest enemy lies between your ears. So if I can get over this challenge, what is on the other side for me? What is?
What is that?
Or your challenges are your what ifs. I can't get past what if this doesn't work out? Or I can't get past, or what if I don't ever get over this breakup? I don't ever get over this person. I don't ever get over this trauma from my family. I will never see the growth that I can have on the other side. So I'm just stuck in this little area right here.
This is a good personal value of mine. Effectiveness.
Okay, how so?
Effectiveness meaning that because I like work, and when I'm effective, it's meaning I get the job done without struggle. And it's seamless, a seamless approach. Effectiveness to me is you will research and do the necessary things to do to get that productivity or whatever done. That's being effective without asking,
putting in the hard work.
That's not without asking questions or being just having knowledge of the simple things you can do to get to the effectiveness of whatever needs to be completed. And a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah. Or realize, Judah, that your hard work, you don't have to knock another person down to get where you're trying to get. Yeah.
Another good one of mine. Discipline.
I'm not even
You don't have discipline.
I feel like that should be a strong value for everyone. Like how you were talking about health. I'm going to be honest with you. This week, I have not had a lot of discipline when it comes to my bad eating habits. So therefore, that has not been a value of mine this week. Instead, I valued how I could just DoorDash something really quickly and eat it. Doesn't matter that it's not healthy. Doesn't matter that it's not going to put nutrients in my body.
It's DoorDash.
I didn't have to leave the house, so it's a value.
Right, it's a value. You have to walk to the door.
I value the effectiveness of DoorDash.
There's some positivity in DoorDash. You order from a vegan restaurant, see?
Okay, so
just tell us what you had. Just tell us what you had.
I had all kinds of stuff, Judah. I had like a shrimp pasta. I had a shrimp pasta. I had a veggie burger. I had all kinds of stuff. And that's what the discipline comes in.
Right.
I was not disciplined enough to realize that I could have saved money this week and been more effective with my funds.
Right. This is one thing that is dear to my heart.
Okay.
Family. And I do that as a value because I think that's what was one thing that was instilled in me at an early age. And that's where I am with my fiance. I know I said I was in a whole relationship with myself, but I am still in a relationship with myself, but I have a whole fiance.
Yes.
So we're in a relationship together too as well, but I still got a whole relationship by myself.
Nothing wrong with that.
But I mean, in that establishing family, even in the difficult times, and I'm glad that I'm able to talk with my fiance and things like that, and she's able to talk to me too as well. So I'm excited for that. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do, Judah, when you have a family that puts more value on you being there for yourself? Like you come from a family that raised you to be, like, to put yourself first, always do for you, always stand on your own 2 feet. So it's almost like the value is what you can do on your own, then the support that you need from them.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, like I've had this conversation before is, and as I had said, I'm in a relationship by myself. Self comes first. And when you unite, it becomes a supportive role. And I think people got to understand that it's no big I, no little U's. It's about the unit and the togetherness about it, and building a family, having trust, and having every different thing. But the biggest part of that whole unit is communication. If you don't like something, say something, and be adult enough to have dialogue about it. We're not 17. We're not 18 anymore. No one is a parent, and neither one of us are parents of each other's. So we have to realize we have to come to a mutual agreement if this unit's going to stand.
I agree. I love it. I love that.
Well, yeah, I know that's one of mine too. Spirituality.
That is the ultimate value. That is the ultimate. And I love that it says spirituality and faith, because I think we're moving into a point, Judah, where some people just don't want to believe in God himself or herself.
Oh, yeah.
People want to believe in themselves. Yeah. People just want to believe in spirituality, or they just want to believe in the universe, or believe in just cosmic, things like that. So I love that it said both, because both of that, and I myself, I come from a very religious background, but I've also become less focused on what pastor at the Baptist church taught me, such as something like women can't preach.
Now we're going too deep, personal values.
Just saying, I valued obtaining knowledge for myself.
Exactly. And in 2 Timothy, it says, study to show thyself approved. Women.
There you go. There you go.
Because, people have their own vices. And we have to understand God is love. Number one. Anybody can preach. Anybody can teach, but first you have to be called.
And everybody's not called.
Many are called, but
we don't leave that alone. Some people chose it. We're going to leave that alone, Judah.
Some people just move forward towards...
That'll open up a whole other ball.
Some people just move forward. Because
some people say they heard the calling, but the calling was them talking to themselves, telling them that they can do that.
I didn't know he had answer machines. So I think we all need to just beware of differences, especially with different things, and be able to ask God for the spirit of discernment. So you'll know right from wrong. And I'm not saying anybody right or anybody's wrong, because the spirit of God determines that. Yeah. So what I'm saying is be careful with your words, because we all have to stand at the end of at the end. And you want to be in the right mind. So I'm asking people, which I call the basic instructions before leaving earth, which is the Bible, is to study to show thyself approved. Because basically, if you don't, how can you preach or teach a word that you learned and not studied to show yourself approved? So that's a personal value of mine.
I love it. I love it, Judah. You said it best.
I just try to be clean. This is another one of mine.
Flexibility?
Yes.
I think that's important, especially for me being flexible with myself, realizing that, okay, I may have thought that I would be here by this age, by this time, by this day, but circumstances have changed that. I wanted to start my luxury dinner party business this year. I brought all of this stuff, Judah. I was so ready and prepared.
Do it. Let's do it. Send me some of it.
Well, we thought the pandemic was getting... Right? But we thought the pandemic was getting better, right? And then, I feel like between August and September, we just keep getting more and more variants. And it just kind of made me feel like, okay, maybe that's a next summer thing. So I had to be flexible with that. And I have to value myself and say that you can do this. You will do it. It's just maybe not the right timing. So I think flexibility is a value that I am learning every day to have.
Teamwork.
I'm not even doing that one with you, Judah. Nope. Yeah. You know how many colleagues don't know what that word means?
And sometimes you have to be a team by yourself. But you know how I do it is especially in the new team that I'm in right now, is I'm learning people. But at the end of the day, I'm helpful to those who need it. I know a young lady at a current place that I am employed that had been there since she was 18.
Oh my God.
And has not moved that far. And the one thing that I said basically is, we need to get you started to your new journey. I'm going to take you under my wing and do the necessary things in order to get you career focused. And what does that look like for you? Only you know. I don't know. But I'm here to carry you where you need to go.
Because I was just about to ask Judah, has her higher power even shown her what her next journey is?
And that's what, that's the conversation we need to have. And, I gave her career assessments and things like that so she could figure it out. But just like I told her, it's part of you doing the work, not me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm here for the guidance. That's it. Yeah. So we need to take hold of people like such, as I just described before, and guide them. And anything that I ask her to do, she has been on point. But some people need to be led. That's all. Some people are great followers. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
mm-hmm. But Judah, that's why I said, sometimes it's all about us realizing that our past is not a shortcoming, but it's more of a stairway to longevity in different things. And with that, sometimes a value that we take from our past is actually for another person. You ever heard, especially in church, when they say sometimes that test is not for you, it's for somebody else.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to realize what the knowledge I've obtained from this, what I've taken from this, is for another woman, it's for another young boy, it's for another young person, or it's for me to bring about that business that is going to employ other young people to go a different direction. So I love that you're taking her up under your wing, and I myself definitely look forward to taking young girls under my wing every day.
Y'all hear that? Lady_Matt Pig says she's hiring and taking young girls under her wings. So DM her tonight. She needs at least 10 girls.
More like a mentorship thing. But no, definitely though, Judah, I do. I've been through a great deal of things in my life, but I'm a firm believer that a lot of those things I went through for someone else to stop them from going through it. And that's why they say we need to always reach back for someone younger than us. Show them something. Show them a different way. Yeah, build that rapport. Yeah. Or it don't even have to be younger. It could be someone older than you.
Most likely it always is older than me.
Hey, you're never too old to learn.
Right. Strength.
Strength is a value.
What does that mean to you as a personal value?
That I think it goes back to what I just said. Understanding that my strength came from the things that I went through. And because of that, I am a valuable asset to whoever I come in contact with, whether it's work-related, relationships, friendship, understanding the things I've been through, I have value to bring to someone else.
Great. So we're talking about personal values. And as you see on here, it says personal values. Now we have some empty cards for the listeners to actually look at and fill it out yourself. Tag us down below and let us know. What are some of your personal values? Let's hear them. Don't be scared.
Yes. Who do you have? Maybe food or like health, nutrition.
Anybody, somebody? Your own personal values. 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 We got a couple of people. What are your own personal values? Tell us in the invite. Tell us your own personal value.
Compassion. I love that.
Tell us more about that. Compassion. Oh, I see
Don't
a
be
heart.
shy.
Don't be shy. Tell us more about authenticity. I love it.
Love it. Love it.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
I give you all
Avoiding
of
that
that.
imposter syndrome. I love it. Being who you are, staying true to who you are.
Every day, 365 days of the year.
Compassion for others. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Empathy. Empathy is a value. Being very empathetic to people.
Yes.
Because a lot of people are not empathetic to folks. A lot of people just walk over people every day.
A lot of people are sympathetic, and sometimes that's not good either.
Ooh, devotion.
Devotion. I like it.
Yes. Yes. And how do you, like, I would love to know how that person instills that value into their life every day. Do you wake up in the morning and have like devotional time? Do you designate a time for it?
For devotion.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know personally for me, every day I wake up, my thing that I say, in everything give thanks to God, because this is the will of God concerning you. That's my devotion. Because even if I got aches and pain, if I got a migraine or whatever, he said in everything give thanks.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that's my whole monologue every day. In everything give thanks. And I have to remember that because sometimes we get so caught up in stuff. But in everything give thanks.
Yeah. Judah, a value of mine that I think a lot of people either feel the same or should do is when that moment of doubt or that moment of like insecurity kicks in, is speaking back to that and reminding that thought, that comment or whatever that came into your mind, speaking back to it and letting you know it's not welcome. And let me know that it's not true. So when I feel things like when I'm at work and I'm feeling overwhelmed and that thought kicks into my head and tells me, well, maybe you wasn't ready for this. Maybe this wasn't a position for you. I remind myself that God wouldn't have given it to me if he wasn't ready for me to have